When you want to allow your users to edit values within a table, you can do so by creating a subroutine that opens the table and applying the edits. In this movie, I'll show you how to create that code. We're going to be working with the client's table's contents, so I'll just go ahead and open that up, and you don't need to follow along. I just want you to see that when we double-click the client's table, that we have three clients, Terrebonne, Buena Suerte, and Cartier Light. So those are the three companies that are in there right now, and we'll change them around. Press Control-W to close that table, and then open the code module that we're going to use, and that is Edit Existing. So I'll just go down to the Modules section of the navigation pane and double-click Edit Existing. I've already put in the skeleton of the Edit Existing code. I've created a variable called myR, which I've defined as a record set, and then I've assigned the client's table through the OpenRecordSet method of the current DB object to that variable. And now we can type in the rest of the code that will make the macro work. The first code is probably what you would expect. That is myR period edit, EDIT. This opens the current table row for editing. Press enter a couple of times, and then we have myR, MYR, and then we're going to define which field we're working with. So type in exclamation point, a left square bracket, and then client company, all one word, CLIENT, COMPANY, and then a right square bracket, an equal sign, and now the value that we're going to assign to the client company field. Double quote, and then Buena Vista, BUENA VISTA, all one word in this case. Although it doesn't really matter if you have a space in there, I just prefer to type it without it. Then press enter, and now we're going to put in a value for the client salesperson field. So that's myR, exclamation point, left square bracket, client, CLIENT, salesperson, SALES, capital PERSON, right square bracket, then equal sign, and then quotes, 3, and close the quotes. Now press enter, and we need to tell Access to update the field, and that command is myR, again we're working with the record set, period update, UPDATE, and enter. So with this code in place, if I press F5, Access runs the code, and now I'll switch back to the main database by pressing Alt F11, and then double-clicking the client's table to open it. And we see that the first client's name has been changed to Buena Vista. The code we just created operates on the first record of a record set. What if you want to affect a record elsewhere in the record set? Well, what you need to do is to find that record using the find methods and then work on it there. I'll show you how to do that. So I will press Control-W to close this table, and then Alt F11 to switch back to the Edit Existing code module. And we're going to change the code in a couple of different ways. And for this example, I'm supposing that we want to edit the sample name and sample number values in the field with client ID 3. To make that change, we need to open the client's table differently. In other words, we're not just opening it, we need to open it as what's called a dynaset. In other words, a record set that is dynamic and can be changed. So in the set myR equal current DB open record set statement, after clients, but still within the parentheses, type a comma, and we're going to set the type, and that is DB open dynaset, DYNASET, and then press the down arrow. Now we need to add this code right after the set statement, but before the edit statement, and that code is myR period find first, FIND, FIRST, space, double quote, and then a left square bracket, client ID, CLIENT, ID, right square bracket, space, then an equal sign, then a 3, and then a double quote, and press enter. So now what does that statement do? Well, what it does is it looks at the myR record set object and uses the find first method. The find first method requires an argument that tells it what to look for, it expects a field, and in this case, we're telling it that it is the client ID field that is set off by the square brackets, and then the equal sign and the value we're expecting, and that value is 3. Now let's change the client company to something other than Buena Vista. So I'll backspace over most of Buena Vista, then type in BONSOIR. And we'll make the client salesperson, instead of 3, 4. That way, we'll make sure that the information is completely different from what we have in the table before. What this code will do is to look inside the clients table, find the client ID row that has the value 3, the first one of those, and then it will change the client company name to Bonsoir and the client salesperson to number 4. I'll press F5 to run the code, and then press Alt F11 to go back to the main database window. Then double-click the client's table, and we see that indeed client ID 3 is now named Bonsoir, and the client salesperson is number 4. The original code in this movie changed the first row in the table we opened. If we wanted to work with another row, such as one that contains a specific value in its index field, we would need to use a find method. I showed you the most basic case for using a find statement, but I covered in much more depth elsewhere in this course.